Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Our goal for today is to share our vision for the future of surgery and how we plan to deliver on that vision. Up to this point, you have known us as a robotics company. However, we believe that robotics as a standalone technology has limited application over the long term. Robotic-assisted surgery has been around for decades, but adoption is still low. What that tells us is that patients, surgeons, and hospitals need more than a robot. We believe that the future of surgery will bring machine vision, augmented intelligence, and deep learning capabilities throughout the surgical experience. The future of surgery is the evolution from robotic-assisted surgery to digital surgery, and we intend to deliver on this future. Before we dive into the future, I want to quickly walk through our journey. Over a relatively short period of time, we have made tremendous progress as a company. In late 2017, we became the first soft tissue abdominal robotic platform to get FDA clearance in nearly 2 decades, quickly followed by other regulatory clearances around the globe. We then went to work advancing the capabilities and applicability of the platform. We brought innovative features to the operating room and were the first platform to offer eye-sensing camera control technology and haptic feedback. We were also the first robotic platform to introduce 3mm instruments. We then made strides in evolving robotics through the acquisition of MST Technologies and their innovative intraoperative real-time digital technology platform, enabling us to be the first robotic platform to offer machine vision capability in surgery. Leveraging these technologies and unique instrumentation, we pushed the boundaries of robotic applicability by being the first platform to be approved for pediatric procedures using 3mm instruments and haptic feedback. We currently have Senhance systems being used on a daily basis by over 100 active surgeon users across 3 continents. To date, over 4,000 procedures have been performed using the Senhance system across a wide variety of surgical specialties. We have a robust and growing IP portfolio and have been actively working to compile a significant library of clinical data. From a company perspective, we have also taken action recently to bolster our balance sheet to provide us the capital needed to pursue our long-term strategy. As we take stock of what we have accomplished, we are very proud of what we have built. As we think about what surgery should be, what it could be, we know that we have the technology, the team, and the opportunity to create a new paradigm in surgical capabilities. As we have been evolving from a robotics company to a digital surgery company, we felt it fitting to rebrand the company to better reflect our vision. Starting today, the company will be known as Asensus Surgical, and effective on March 5th, our ticker symbol on the NYSE American will change to ASXC. There are 2 primary concepts that we believe our new name conveys. First, sensus is Latin for cognition, the idea and the process of knowing something and perceiving. The name reflects our intention to leverage automated intelligence, connectivity, and robotics to provide surgeons with the technology and tools that allow them to have greater insights and control, and improve the surgical experience in ways that matter. Asensus also speaks to ascending and elevating. Our mission is focused on elevating robotic surgery to drive predictable outcomes, to optimize resources and cost, and to work with hospital systems that seek to strive to employ innovative healthcare strategies. By leveraging advanced digital technologies, we aim to enable surgeons to take the best surgical practices and techniques from everywhere and enable them to leverage it anywhere to help improve outcomes, reduce variability, control the unexpected, reduce cost, reduce cognitive and physical fatigue of surgeons, and provide patients the best care they deserve. We believe that by digitizing the interface between the surgeon and patient, we can unlock the clinical intelligence to pioneer a new era of surgery, which we are calling performance-guided surgery. During our presentation today, we will review our perspective on what we believe is currently missing in today's surgical environment, how we are developing performance-guided surgery to address those gaps, and our pathway to delivering on the promise of performance-guided surgery in the future. I'd like to start by doing a quick reality check on the state of surgery today. 1 in 5 patients undergoing surgery has 1 or more complications. That's bleak. Imagine if air travel had even 1/10 this level of safety risk. Thankfully, aviation has seen enormous technological advances, training, and process improvement over the last 30 years. So why do we tolerate it in healthcare? Many of the unsatisfactory outcomes arise from how challenging it is to perform effective, consistent surgery when it's being performed by so many different people with different levels of skills, experience, and training. These complications often result in an increased length of stay, repeat surgery, additional medical treatment, legal issues, and increased cost. When a complication does occur, it decreases the hospital's profit margin to basically zero. In the wake of COVID, margin pressure has only intensified for hospitals and healthcare systems. That's also pretty bleak when you think about how much our society relies upon access to care. We believe the way we are performing procedures today leads to a lower quality outcomes and is caused a massive strain on the global patient population as well as the healthcare system. We believe performance-guided surgery can make a meaningful difference. The surgical enterprise is the epicenter of hospitals and healthcare systems. However, the operating room is an atmosphere that is conducive to unpredictable outcomes, cost, and inefficiencies. We have more power, insights, and intelligence from our cell phones than a surgeon has from current tools in the operating room. Something is clearly missing. And now more than ever, we need to raise the standard of surgery to address the gaps and deliver consistently superior surgery. When you think about how a surgeon operates, she moves through a series of defined steps, which is the same process for any complex human action. Let's take a look at how surgeons fundamentally move through the surgical decision chain. First is prepare. The surgeon begins by reviewing the patient's history, assessing diagnostic imaging, and getting physically and mentally prepared for the surgery. Second, as a surgeon moves into the procedure, she is continually utilizing her senses to collect information in real time through sensory inputs, vision, touch, etc. Third, surgeons take in that information and analyze. This is where the surgeon processes the information in real time to generate insights. Fourth, the surgeons decide. This is where the surgeon can leverage all of the available information at their disposal to determine optimal action. Fifth, the surgeon acts. The surgeon will execute the chosen action. Last is reflect, where the surgeon and the operating room staff can assess the results. This is a perpetual mental process that occurs thousands of times until surgery is complete, hopefully with an optimal outcome. Historically, technology innovation has been focused on surgical tools to improve the acting portion of the process. Think of surgical staplers, which make it easier and faster to divide or join tissue, or even robotics, which reduces the invasiveness when operating. Right now, surgical robotics and laparoscopy are only successfully addressing these three steps in this critical process: prepare, act, reflect. Unlike many other industries, very little focus has been on improving the decision-making aspects of the process, which is crucial in the high-pressure, high-variable situations which happen repeatedly during any surgery. This is what really drives surgical outcomes. Technology is evolving, as we've seen in many other industries, such as autonomous driving, and we must leverage it better to address each step of the surgical process and, in turn, improve the predictability of performing surgery without complications. It's clear we should expect more from surgery and need tools to help increase safety and reduce the variability in surgical outcomes. This requires a holistic approach to addressing each phase of the surgical decision chain. A paradigm shift in technology now presents an opportunity to dramatically improve critical decision-making, driving predictability and helping level the field by gathering, analyzing, and presenting rich information and insights to empower surgeons of all levels, of all experiences with deeper situational knowledge. What we have just walked you through is our perspective on what is lacking in the way surgery is performed today. Ultimately, it is up to the surgical community to decide what will help them perform better, more consistent surgery in the future. Up next, you'll hear from Dr. Jaap Bonnier, Professor of Surgery at Amsterdam University Medical Center, to discuss his experience with laparoscopy and robotics, and what he feels surgeons are looking for from a digital surgery platform. Beyond being a professor of surgery, Dr. Bonnier also serves as the CEO of the Amsterdam Skills Center, where we have recently announced a partnership to launch a Senhance training facility. However, he is not a current Senhance user. Over to you, Dr. Bonnier.
Thank you very much, Anthony. It's great to join you today from the Amsterdam Skills Center. Here at the Amsterdam Skills Center, we offer medical specialists and other healthcare professionals from all over the world unique learning environments with 12 OR tables, a simulation center, and also a digital learning environment. We develop at the Amsterdam Skills Center a new way of learning, which is a safer, more efficient and faster way to master surgical procedures. It's a blended curriculum consisting of a digital learning environment and a hands-on learning environment. And we hope to develop a digital, scalable, low-cost mobile learning environment that we can launch across the world. You've asked me to tell a little bit about the evolution of surgery in the past 30 years. When I started my residency, open surgery was still the standard of care. And I'm going to show you a few instruments that were used in open surgery. You can see here a very large retractor that we used for abdominal surgery. So at that time, the adage was that a great surgeon makes a great incision. We also used these large clamps to clamp vessels. The advantage of open surgery was that we could insert our hands into the abdominal cavity and feel the tumor, feel the pulsations of the arteries. And in such a way, we could orientate ourselves and identify where we should dissect and where we could find the tumor. Then in the early 90s, I was fortunate to be on several pioneering teams performing laparoscopic cholecystectomy. We performed the first laparoscopic donor nephrectomy and the first laparoscopic adrenalectomy in the Netherlands. And we could do that due to the evolution of technology, due to the development of the TV chip camera, which is shown here, attached to a laparoscope. So this laparoscope is inserted into the abdomen through this tube, this trocar. And this trocar only requires a very small incision. After we inserted the laparoscope, we insert another small trocar, 5mm one, and insert instruments. So with these instruments, we could perform surgery more precisely than with open surgery, so with less blood loss, and patients could recover more quickly after the surgery. However, we had lost our hands in the abdomen, so we were completely relying on our eyes. And difficult procedures such as a radical prostatectomy were difficult to perform with the conventional laparoscopy. So we were very glad when the second revolution occurred, the revolution of robotics, which gave us 3D vision and allowed us to perform the surgery more precisely. And this really has facilitated the expansion of prostate surgery done in a minimally invasive way. But still, we were completely relying on our eyes. So we're very glad that we're entering now the digital era, a digital era where we hope that the new digital systems and also the Senhance system will provide us navigation in the abdomen. Because when we collect the data and we can generate machine learning, and by machine learning, we can create augmented reality, which will guide us through the abdomen and help us to recognize anatomical structure. So my hope is after all these minimally invasive steps that I will find a digital twin at the Senhance system that will assist me during the procedures. And that will also allow us to review our surgeries afterwards and analyze the data and in such a way improve our technique and again generate better outcomes for our patients. So I'm very excited by the advent of this digital interface that Transenterics is presenting, and I'm looking forward to working with your team closely together at the Amsterdam Skills Center to create better solutions in surgery and to support the surgeon better during the surgery. So with that, I give it back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Bonnier, for taking the time to share your perspective with us. As Dr. Bonnier shared, historical advances in surgery have largely focused on bringing tools and techniques into the operating room to reduce the invasiveness of procedures. When we introduced digital laparoscopy, our intention was to help surgeons minimize surgical variability in a cost-effective manner. The next logical step in the progression is looking for ways to deliver superior outcomes, which we believe can be enabled by what we refer to as performance-guided surgery. Performance-guided surgery builds upon our foundation of digital laparoscopy by adding machine vision, augmented intelligence, and deep learning capabilities through all surgical phases to help guide improved decision-making, enriched collaboration, and enhanced predictability for all surgeons, independent of skill level and experience. We are excited to enter this new era and pioneer the creation of a new standard of surgery. To meaningfully advance surgery, we need to augment the surgeon's capabilities across each of the 6 dimensions of the surgical decision chain. As technology evolves, clinical intelligence scales up for all surgeons, which increases predictability and delivers consistently superior outcomes. If you use this lens to think about how surgery has progressed over the decades, you see how the introduction of new technology can add value to the surgeon and in turn the broader surgical experience. Laparoscopy was introduced in the early 80s with the goal of reducing the invasiveness of open surgery. While this new technique did reduce the invasiveness of some procedures, the technical capabilities were quite limited beyond natural human abilities. 2 decades later, robotic surgery emerged and introduced technology like robotic control and 3D visualization that began to make a meaningful impact on the surgeon's capabilities in the act and sense phase. But the surgical value chain remained fairly static until the introduction of digital laparoscopy. By shifting the technology focus to digitizing the interface between the surgeon and patient, a new value dimension was created by increasing surgeon control and reducing surgical variability. Building from there, performance-guided surgery is the first surgical paradigm that addresses all 6 phases of the surgical decision chain with technology that is additive to surgeon capabilities in the key phases sense, analyze, and decide that drive surgical outcomes. This includes things like advanced sensing, procedural insights, and perceptive real-time guidance. Performance-guided surgery now presents a real opportunity to unlock clinical intelligence and capabilities to mitigate surgical errors and complications, regardless of surgeon knowledge and experience. Just think about the value of that for a moment. We spent a lot of time discussing our vision and where we are going as a company. I'd now like to show a brief video that highlights some of the future technologies that we intend to add to the Senhance platform and how these will provide the surgeon with more intraoperative clinical intelligence. Over time, the technologies that you just saw will support what we call the surgical assurance framework. The first part of the framework is our preoperative offering defined as intelligent preparation. Our machine learning models will take the findings from all of the procedures done utilizing our current Senhance intelligent surgical unit, such as tracking surgical motion and team interaction, to create a large and consistently improving database of surgeries and their outcomes to enable surgeons to best inform their approach and surgical setup. The second function of the framework is perceptive real-time guidance for intraoperative tasks. Any surgeon performing a procedure with Senhance in any location should be able to benefit from assistance from the collective knowledge and rules-based performance of thousands of other successful Senhance procedures. Not only will this provide the surgeon with a pathway to better outcomes, but it will ultimately help reduce the cognitive load of the surgeons. Finally, by tapping into the vast amount of data captured during procedures, surgeons and operating room staff will be able to get actionable assessments of their performance, giving them the information needed to improve performance over time. We intend on building a new standard of analytics to improve not only the skills of all surgeons, but moving towards best practice sharing that bridges a global surgeon community. As we will discuss a bit later, we have made early progress towards delivering on performance-guided surgery through the introduction of our Intelligent Surgical Unit, or ISU. To provide a real-world perspective on what Senhance offers today and why the development of performance-guided surgery will be so meaningful to patients, surgeons, and hospitals, we will now be joined by one of the highest volume users of Senhance, Dr. Amit Trivedi, surgeon and chair of surgery at Pascack Valley Medical Center. Over to you, Dr. Trivedi.
So thank you, Anthony, for that introduction, and thank you for allowing me to join today's presentation. So hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Amit Trivedi, and I'm the chair of surgery at Pascack Valley Medical Center in Westwood, New Jersey. Pascack Valley Medical Center is part of the Hackensack Meridian Health Network, and I'm part of a large surgical group that has 7 surgeons, and we specialize in minimally invasive general and bariatric surgery, and we have a strong focus on robotics. I've been doing robotic surgery for many years using the Da Vinci system at the main campus, and I'm very familiar with using the Da Vinci system over years of routine usage. A few years ago, I was given the opportunity to become chair of surgery at Pascack Valley Medical Center. Pascack Valley was a small community hospital for many years, and due to competition from surrounding hospitals, the entire hospital closed down and remained closed for several years before it was reopened under a partnership with Hackensack Meridian Health and Ardent. When I was asked to become chair of surgery, I knew that we had to do things differently. And we made a commitment to bring robotics into the operating room to help the hospital prepare for the future of surgery. At the time, however, we simply could not afford a Da Vinci system. I was then introduced to the Senhance system, and because of the lower cost of ownership, the ability to reuse instruments, and the modular nature of the system where individual components could be replaced and updated, as well as the ability for software updates, made Senhance a great choice for our hospital. The transition to robotic surgery for our hospital, which had never done a single robotic case before, was pretty smooth with Senhance. The OR staff appreciated the setup of the system, which is very similar to laparoscopic cases that they were used to. And for me, the transition was very easy, as it was basically the same laparoscopic movements that I was used to, except now I was comfortably sitting in the chair and had full camera control with eye tracking ability. The system, in fact, gave me more with robotics than I was used to. For the first time ever, I was able to have haptic feedback during surgery. I could actually feel the instruments and tissue during robotic surgery. Additionally, for the first time, I had an open console where I can easily keep an eye on the operating room and easily communicate with everyone in the room. This was a very different experience than what I was used to. My team and I were able to easily adapt to the system and use it to increase our efficiency, to the point where we were able to complete over 100 cases in just over a year, and despite COVID, we're at 200 cases now. As with all technology, there is evolution, and based on our program's feedback and that of others, the system that we originally purchased is far better today. Most of the improvements came from software updates that helped refine the operating platform. The haptic feedback, for example, has been improved significantly to give better, more realistic feedback. The eye tracking camera control has also been significantly improved with more precision. A big mover for me on the hardware front was the introduction of 3mm instruments. This allowed me to perform nearly scarless surgery with ultrafine instruments under robotic control. These instruments will certainly play a big role in pediatric surgery and general surgery as well. And the most recent update that I'm very excited about is the introduction of the Intelligent Surgical Unit, or ISU. This hardware component brings to Senhance the ability to integrate in real-time augmented intelligence capabilities. I've been fortunate enough to be the first user in the United States of this technology. This is the platform that will allow Senhance to bring into the operating room all the benefits that advanced AI can offer. As we see all around us, the changes that are being made every day in our day-to-day lives with AI, things such as neural nets and machine vision, that can potentially offer us things like self-driving cars. It's time to bring that high level of technology into the operating room. My initial experience with the ISU has been very good. For the first time ever, I have the ability to fluidly control my camera by using the ISU's ability to visually recognize instruments in real time in the operating field. This is the beginning of the system increasing its ability to visually recognize structures and instruments in the operative field. This ability has immense potential because as the system begins to recognize more and more structures, it can learn and develop a neural net for itself that can be used to increase safety in the operating room. My main reason for being here today and trying to utilize this technology is to ultimately increase the safety of surgery for patients and increase its access to those in need. And as anyone who's ever been a patient knows, it's nerve-wracking to undergo surgery. And as much as we would like to think that the best surgeon and team are always available, that's not necessarily the case. And avoidable complications during surgery do happen. Surgeon skill set often follows a bell curve, and while there are exceptional surgeons on one end, there are surgeons on the other end, and the vast majority of the surgeons fall into the middle. The potential for AI integration into the operating room has the ability to elevate all surgeons to standards that fall into the top tiers. Imagine with further development of this technology, the ability of the system to recognize anatomy such as major blood vessels and nerves and other vital structures. And imagine if the system can create and identify for the surgeon safety no-fly zones to avoid injury. Imagine with further precision of movement and the ability to measure and mark out during surgery. Imagine the ability to integrate CAT scan and other imaging in real time into the surgery to help with decision making by creating a dashboard of sorts. Ultimately, all of this technology results in reduced cognitive load for the surgeon and far better outcomes for patients. Better outcomes are the reason I come to work. This concept of AI integration leading to better outcomes is the future of surgery. It has to be, because with it, we will have the ability to make surgery have far better outcomes with less variability, whether you get your surgery in a major medical center or in a community hospital in a rural area. We and the system will learn from each surgery, and patients will appreciate their surgeon having a digital AI assistant by their side. And this is why the concept of performance-guided surgery excites me. I'm very excited to continue to use Senhance as the company rolls out additional features, not only as part of the intraoperative phase, but also what comes along as part of the pre-op planning and post-op analysis. So thank you again, and I would like to now hand it over back to Anthony. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Trivedi, for taking the time to share your perspective with us. There are many factors plaguing the healthcare industry that amplifies the urgency for performance-guided surgery. Value-based care is shifting a greater responsibility for poor quality and inefficiency to hospitals and physicians. COVID-19 exposed the shocking financial frailty of the hospital systems as well as capacity and resource constraints, which must be bolstered and requires an acceleration of innovation. Patients are presenting with more complex conditions and treating them becomes more complicated. The absolute number of patients seeking care is increasing, and many more patients have multiple chronic conditions than they did a generation or even a decade ago. These factors make it the ideal time to integrate advanced technology in the operating room. The market for advanced surgical robotics is large, fast-growing, and largely unpenetrated. Today, less than 5% of total surgical procedures are done robotically. One of the key factors that has limited global adoption is the high per procedure cost of current robotic offerings. There are a number of ways that a more cost-effective solution can expand penetration in the market. First, by enabling hospital systems that have already invested in robotics but need an offering that can be utilized in a broader number of procedures. Second, by enabling robotics to move into the outpatient surgery setting. And third, by tapping into international markets where procedural reimbursement levels are often lower than in the US. Senhance, as a cost-effective alternative that also adds materially to clinical intelligence uniquely, has the ability to drive adoption in these areas, particularly by converting traditional laparoscopy procedures to performance-guided surgery. What we have just described is our vision for what surgery can and should be in the future. We are well positioned to lead this future. The Senhance system is a robust digital laparoscopy platform which is the foundation of performance-guided surgery. It's based on the principles of minimally invasive surgery, delivering a reliable, stable, safe, cost-effective surgical platform that addresses a global need as evidenced by its increasing global clinical utilization. The Intelligent Surgical Unit is a digital platform capable of machine vision and augmented intelligence, enabling real-time surgical analytics. We will introduce additional new applications in the coming quarters with the goal of driving surgical evolution towards perceptive real-time guidance. We will accomplish this with our global team as we continue to build our installed base. Over the next 12 months, we will continue to advance the technology, establish credible clinical evidence through peer-reviewed publications, and expand the Senhance system global footprint. We will continue to focus and target our investments in driving innovation to create the future of surgery, performance-guided surgery. Before we transition to Q&A, I want to summarize what we've gone through today and outline why we are well positioned to deliver on this promise of advanced digital laparoscopy. We are attacking this opportunity from a position of strength. We currently offer a robust digital laparoscopy platform, which was built around the fundamentals of minimally invasive surgery. On a daily basis, surgeons are performing Senhance surgery, which is delivering safe, stable, cost-effective outcomes around the world. We have already brought the early stages of performance-guided surgery to market through the development and launch of the ISU and its machine vision capabilities. We will continue to advance its capabilities to include augmented intelligence, enabling real-time surgical analytics, as you saw a glimpse of in our video earlier in the presentation. To further advance the capabilities of the platform, we will continue our focused investments into delivering innovation, leveraging our global R&D footprint. With performance-guided surgery, we are bringing novel capabilities to the entire surgical paradigm, from pre-op planning to post-op analysis, unlocking the clinical intelligence to enable consistently superior outcomes and a new standard of surgery. We will now move into Q&A, and I will be joined by our CFO, Shamis Rampatap.